Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we have a special surprise. I've been missing in action for a while. Update video coming soon, but today is the debut of a new series, okay, where we pose the question, is your third eye blind? Is your third eye blind? Where I do interviews with intuitives from my community so we can hopefully, build a spiritual community here on YouTube or other platforms too. But this is my dear friend Luna.
Hello.
She's our intuitive for today, and I think you guys are going to really like this. So if you're interested in where this is going to go to, stick around. If you're curious or spiritually inclined, or you think you might be, this might be the video for you. So just stick around.
I'm out of control when I'm crushing on you. She don't tell me no when I'm touching on her. H-Town nigga love.
So, in case you guys don't know by now, I am a very spiritual person. In fact, my spirituality is one of those things that I take very seriously. So that's why I thought I would do this today. But today, we have my best friend Luna. Yeah, give it up for Luna. Oh, yeah. That's what the people love. So, how we're going to kick this off, okay? First, I want you to kind of give us a little bit of a background about yourself. Like, who were you as a kid? Where did you grow up? What kind of background did you come from? And did you grow up with spirituality in the household?
Alright, so a little bit about me and my background. I come from El Paso, Texas. That's where I'm born. And my first language was actually Spanish when I was living in El Paso. So that's what I'm talking about. My first language is actually Spanish.
Were you as a kid? Where did you grow up? What kind of background did you come from? Did you grow up with spirituality in the household?
Oh, okay.
And you can always refer here too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They know. Shoot, we have notes. Okay,
Yeah,
we have notes.
Who I was as a kid was someone who was like really just different. Honestly, I can honestly say I was very, very different from everyone else. I was kind of like an outsider most of my childhood.
Was that something that you felt, or something that was like apparent?
It's very apparent.
Okay.
I was, like, back in the day, I was bullied a lot because I was so different from other people.
Can't relate. Can relate. It almost makes you feel like you're a fucking alien.
Exactly.
And it's just like, no, I'm just like you bitches, but you guys just want to pick on people.
Exactly. Precisely. I just don't really sense.
I have a theory about that, but we can get into it later. Continue.
The kind of background I come from is like very mixed and diverse. Like I grew up knowing my black side of the family very well, but when it comes to my mom's side, who's very mixed, like I didn't get to really grow up with that. So I just grew up in a black household, very religious black household.
Do 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
So, spirituality was in your family to an extent, but it was more so of the religious variety.
Mm-hmm.
It was more rigid.
Yes, very, very rigid. Because my grandma was Mormon. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we're not going to speak about Mormons. I'm just going to hold that thought.
Yeah, but my aunt was mostly conservative Christian.
Okay.
It's like how she grew up and how she was like her belief system.
So is she kind of like, would you say she was like a fundamentalist or a nationalist?
I would say somewhere in between.
Okay.
Somewhere in between, honestly.
but a good dose of extra religious.
Yes.
Got it. Can relate. My family was religious, but like it was crazy because we went to this church called the Church of the Living God, and basically my family, like all my family was in the church, and they were basically like, if you don't go to this exact church, then you're not really a Christian. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I was like, seems kind of judgmental, but
Right.
anywho. Okay. So, as someone who is spiritually gifted, what age did you become aware that you were gifted? Um, and like, when did you kind of know that there was something beyond just our human realm of understanding?
Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I became more spiritually like aware when I like didn't have the language for it, but I feel like it was like around age 7 or 8.
Mm.
I was like really honing in like on like this is different. This is not like religious. This is not like normal. It's just like different.
How did it start out? Was it just like a thought, like an idea, or was it more so like a feeling?
It was more of a feeling for sure.
Feeling,
A
yeah.
really deep feeling. Like I even like was like in my room one day. I was like, I'm gonna make a potion. Did I know what a potion was? No.
No.
But like I'm gonna
Good old kids.
mix some things together and just like make something up.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I told my family that I did that, and they were like, "We don't do that in this household."
Oh,
That's
so they were early with the shame.
yeah, very very early on. They were like, "We don't do that in the household. Like, I know that you're just playing around, you're being a kid, but like that is bad." Type deal.
Mm.
That's what they said.
So they didn't, did they explain to you, did they say why it was bad, or they were just like, it's bad, don't do it?
I believe they kind of went to straight to like, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell if you do stuff like this."
Mm.
Type deal.
The ultimate trap for guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness. My family was kind of similar, except like they they addressed that there was like witchcraft and other spiritual practices and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
but they were like, but that's not us. And they were like, I want to say they were kind of closed off, but not like, because spiritual gifts were something that is like a thing in my family, like it's openly talked about and things like that. But my family was just so religious that they were also on that same tip, like if you're doing this, that, and the other, it's witchcraft and you're going to hell. And so, but they were like, it's different if it's like a gift from God or whatever, but you can tell if a gift is like of the devil and stuff like that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the fear mongering, it was early, you know.
Absolutely.
And like it wasn't really spirituality per se that was in my household. It was more so just religion.
Mm-hmm.
And but my parents were never like upset if I wanted to pretend to be a witch and like mix potions or anything like
Yeah.
that. They weren't that uptight, but they were
Mhm.
uptight in a lot of other ways too, you know.
I would
Yeah.
say in my household that I grew up in, I was not allowed to do Pokemon anymore. So I went from my mom and my dad. My dad passed away when I was 6 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved in with my aunt. My aunt was like, "We're not having any Pokemon, no Yu-Gi-Oh, nothing
Dang,
with
she
Harry
just didn't want you to have
Potter.
fun. Like
Do you want to control?
she said, no fun.
No fun and control." She was a lot.
She
But
sounds
yeah,
like a lot.
she was a lot. She did not want me to
She sounds like a thief of joy.
fully express myself as an individual. She didn't want me to go outside the line of what she had an idea of, like the idea of me that she had in her head. She did not
Yeah.
like when I steered away from that.
Yeah.
So she wanted me to throw in my Pikachu backpack, which was my favorite thing in the whole entire world at that time, because my dad got it from me.
Oh.
My Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Can't watch Harry Potter. I don't think Twilight was out at that time, but like, yeah, definitely no Twilight.
I had several friends whose parents would also not let them watch Harry Potter either.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I was allowed to watch it, but um, I don't know. It's just because like I'm very fond of that series, even though we all have our feelings about J.K. Rowling. But you know, that was one thing. My mom was like, "It's fantasy. Like that kind of magic isn't real." Little did she know, there's an even realer magic that exists, and it's more potent and more powerful than what we see on the screen anyway. But I digress. So Let me ask you this. Let me pose you this question.
Okay.
Do spiritual gifts run in your family? And like what is your family's spiritual background? Were they at one point not religious and like became religious, or
Mhm.
like did anybody make you aware of your spiritual gifts? Like do you know what spiritual gifts run in your family?
On my father's side, I'm not too sure because they really covered it up. They really cloaked it. Like they didn't give me like any explanation of like how my dreams came true when I had the dream. They'd be like, "Oh, it's just God talking to you." You know, to give like a more spiritual explanation for it. Just the
Right.
religious
Just so
aspect.
to make it make sense, but they
Hmm.
were like, don't get too woo woo. Don't get
Exactly.
too woo woo. It was God.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
But on my mom's side, my mom's more open about spirituality.
Hmm.
She even does practices for spirituality.
Ooh, like what?
I know that she does. You know, at the beginning of the month, we have
Oh, yeah.
the cinnamon practice.
Yeah.
She's told me about that before, about cleaning your floors before, like anything when you move in
Yeah.
to a new place.
Hmm.
Not putting your purse on the floor.
Hmm.
Just things
Don't
like
not
that.
sweeping your feet
Not sweeping
like
your feet.
girl hoodoo. Anyway,
Exactly.
hoodoo. Okay, so they did give you an explanation, and like, let's give it credit. Like the explanation is correct. Like that was God talking to you. It was God
Hmm.
showing you something,
Yeah, yeah.
but they wanted to hide the true power from you. Is what it sounds like. It's
Hmm.
like we don't want you to get carried away with that stuff because it's not godly.
Yeah.
Um, so we're just gonna say it's from God, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. And it's like you're right, but for the wrong reasons.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, and so we kind of touched on this question already, but it
Hmm.
was like, what age did you realize you were different, and in what ways?
And then
And in what ways?
in what ways? Okay. So my compassion for other people, that was very different and very new for I guess the people I was around. Because when someone like let's say got hurt, I'd be like, oh my gosh, are they okay? That's the first initial thought. And then as a kid they're like, do you even know who that person is? I'm like, no, but I hope they're okay. That's compassion I had for other people.
Empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, empathy that I have for other people. And I believe that was around age maybe around same age, eight,
Eh?
8 years old.
And I mean, eight has a high spiritual significance anyway, like with its meaning in numerology and spirituality realm. Like the number eight is a very powerful number. So it was probably like that for a reason. Like when you were eight, that was probably like your first awakening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Without
Hmm.
even kind of realizing it, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And it was like, I feel different. I know I'm different. You guys can't tell me I'm not different because I am.
That part.
I'm going to figure it out. I just don't
Hmm.
have words for it.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Like, in what ways were you introduced to the spirituality that you have now?
The spirituality that I have now, like the understanding that I have now
Yeah, and the
in the
language.
language, yeah. So I have friends who are also spiritual. Um, they taught me about tarot,
Mm.
and that was one of my first introductions into spirituality. Tarot, learning like clairvoyance and what that means, having channel messages, things of that nature. I was like introduced to myself like probably in my or early 20s.
Early
Early
20s?
20s.
Nice. So, my question is like, when you were being introduced to spirituality the way that you practice it now by your friends,
Hmm.
in what ways did it first resonate with you that made you realize, oh snap, like this is actually for me?
I feel like it just resonated with me in a way that was like deeper than religion could ever touch my heart, my soul. Honestly, like Because when it comes to spirituality, I feel like I have my own individual path that's like unique to me. My
Period.
own unique path with God. My relationship with God is different than
Period.
what it was with I was religion
Mhm.
based. Because with religion, I was doing it out of fear,
Yeah,
but when it came to spirituality, I do it out of love, and I feel like love is stronger than fear.
it is.
So,
And
when it,
like fear is just temporary anyway. Love is
hmm
forever, quite literally.
exactly.
It's always going to be around.
hmm
And I'm like, well, let me ask you this.
hmm
Was it any particular words that were said, or was it just practices you were shown like that really made it resonate?
I feel like it was practices being shown.
Practices being shown.
hmm
Okay.
Like spell work,
Yeah.
tarot, um, even just speaking life into myself and to others. Those things really like opened my eyes to spirituality in like a new way.
Okay. I definitely understand that for sure. And it's like, especially when you're first introduced to something and you're like, what is this? And then all of a sudden you see the end results, and the end result works. And it's just like,
Yes. hmm
you almost feel like you've gotten forbidden knowledge, you know? It's just
Yeah.
like, am I supposed to know this?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Hmm. I like that.
hmm
Go, friends.
Yes,
Go,
yes,
friends.
yes.
Oh, well, and another question, just kind of off of that. Well, you kind of answered that already. I was gonna be like, well, what spiritual practices were you shown? But you said tarot and everything, so
Spell work,
yeah,
yeah.
spell work. Okay, so at at what age did you actually realize that it was a gift instead of like you were just special? You know, like when did you actually realize it for what it was, like as a gift?
I believe at the age 18.
18?
18. I was
Another
I
8.
another 8, yeah. I dipped my toes into like going on to spiritual Facebook. I was kind of introduced to a little bit, and I was like, oh, it's like opening like a whole new world, a whole new chapter of my life. Because 18 was like the year I started to really try to love myself and successfully love myself and continuously love myself and love on myself and pour into myself, you
Yeah.
know. That was a really big age for me. So
Yeah.
spirituality was part of my healing journey.
Ooh.
So
So it became interwoven in like that formative part that was
hmm
just like hitting home. Like,
yeah.
ooh, and we're about to get into that later because I have a whole bunch of questions about self love, especially as a spiritual person.
Yes, yes.
We're gonna get into it. We gonna get there. Okay. How did you explain like discovering that you had spiritual gifts to like your family and your friends, or did you even tell your family and your friends?
I felt like I didn't tell my family. I did not feel comfortable being like telling my family, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I do things. Like I did tell them I do tarot.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, that is of the devil. You don't do that in my house. You're going to conjure up different demons and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, absolutely not. So that's when I was like, I need to get out of this house because I cannot for myself. I couldn't even do incense.
Incense.
Incense. And that's like not even just for spiritual practices.
Exactly. It's like if you want your house smelling good, you want to change
Exactly.
the flow of energy. Like
Couldn't light a candle either. Didn't matter what kind of candle it was. Couldn't light a candle.
at all ever.
Never. She was like, "You're not gonna pay attention to it, and the house is gonna catch on fire." Type deal. I'm just like,
More fear mongering.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
My friends were very supportive.
your friends were very supportive.
When
Okay.
I told them,
So your family was not supportive,
no.
but your friends were supportive.
Mm-hmm.
You told your friends more than you told your family.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
just kind of tested tarot with my family,
Mhm.
see what the reaction would be, and lo and behold, that's the reaction I thought they were gonna have.
And somehow we always know somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yes.
just like when something speaks to you, you should probably listen.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into that too, though. Um, but let me ask you this: which gifts of yours do you think were passed down from family members,
Mm-hmm.
and which gifts do you think are unique to you?
So the ones passed down from family members having the dreams
Mm-hmm.
and then they coming true.
Mm-hmm.
Because even my grandma on my father's side had that.
Mm.
My grandma, from what my mom told me, on my mom's side had that. So it's like two grandmothers combined, like passing it down. Now, when it comes to, let's see, gift of channeling, I never heard of anybody in my family channeling, even on my mom's side, and they're more open about it.
Okay.
So I feel like that might be more unique to me, being able to channel messages.
Yeah.
Clairvoyance, I feel like is on my mom's side for sure, very strongly.
Yes.
Especially since my father's side doesn't talk about spiritual gifts like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it comes from my mom's side for sure.
Nice. I can kind of relate to that, and it's so crazy because I was passed down clairvoyance too from my grandmother. And it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because, like, my mom has a best friend, and I've never met her best friend ever. I've only talked to her on the phone and writ her letters. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I've done. And
Mm-hmm.
she was telling me, she was like, you have the same gift that your grandmother has. And she was like, and I've been talking to your mom about this and stuff. And she was like, but I really think that you have the same gift that your grandmother has. And I'm like, I definitely do. I definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I could tell you some things that happened to me, like, and it was like kind of like a twofer. It wasn't just like the clairvoyance, it was the clairaudience too. Like, it was kind of coupled together,
Yeah.
sort of. Like, I don't like, I don't know if you can relate to this, but like, it'll either be when I'm on the verge of waking up or on the verge of falling asleep,
Mm-hmm.
but I always hear, I'll hear like a voice, and I never remember what the voice says,
Mm-hmm.
but the voice that I hear always sounds like someone I know
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And it always happens in like that very delicate consciousness of like being close to waking up
Mm-hmm.
or being close to falling asleep.
I do
And
relate to that.
yeah, and it,
Yeah.
it was like I would have these dreams. I would have these
Mm-hmm.
dreams, and like you, my dreams would come true too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like some nights I would have these dreams, and it's just like I woke up with a vague memory that someone had been in my room, and they like covered me up with the blanket more, and they like kind of gave me a kiss on the cheek and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, mm-hmm. And I'd ask my mom, I'd be like, "Did you come in my room?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, grandma, okay, okay, nanny, I know it's you, but yeah, girl, same,
I
same,
get you. Because like when I, in the delicate like cycle of like waking up and going to sleep, I sometimes hear songs.
same,
Songs. It's
same.
like a song that sets the day, sets the mood for the day, and like I listen to a lot of music. So I listen to Korean music, Spanish music, English music, French music, and any type of music that makes me feel things. I listen to.
That's the kind of music I like too, like the
Mm,
music that makes your soul move.
yeah. So I'll
Ooh,
hear things in Korean that I don't fully understand, but I get the emotion behind it
yeah.
type deal.
I always kind of frame it like this. Like, think about like old days, right?
Mhm.
Before spoken language was a thing. You know,
Mhm.
how did we communicate with each other before spoken language was a thing? And this comes down to my theory of like, I feel like the universe has its own language. Like,
Mhm.
we can all communicate via spirit. Like, we can all communicate via spirit. We don't need to speak actual words
Yeah.
or anything like that, because people still loved, people still kept their societies or their civilizations functioning without spoken language.
Very
You know,
true.
it's like we don't need it. We all speak the same language, even without a spoken language.
I agree.
You know,
Mhm.
so it's just like, even if you don't know what the song is saying because it's in another language, you always can feel when
Yes.
the lyrics hit different. You can
Mhm.
always feel it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So, and before you knew what to call them, right?
Mhm.
How did your gifts like present themselves to you? Like, how did they make you aware that they were there?
I believe it's the dreams. Well,
Just
the
dream.
first dreams I
Mhm.
had, it kind of like eased me into it a little bit
Mhm.
more. The dreams like talking about like, oh, this is gonna happen at this time, type dreams, and that kind of was like that kept happening and happening. I didn't really tell anybody about it in my family because I felt like they wouldn't understand.
Of course.
You know, I didn't know who to tell, but I just kept it to myself, and yeah, that's mainly the thing.
Did you ever journal about these experiences?
No, because
No.
I knew my aunt would look at my journal. She would even do that. Look at my diary, look at my journal. So I'd never written it down.
That's annoying.
Hmm.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that,
Yeah.
girl, because I'm just like, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like.
Hmm.
Because I had stopped journaling for a very long time because I had a journal and my mom read it and I felt very betrayed.
Yes.
Felt very betrayed, and I was like, these are my private thoughts. Like,
Exactly.
and she was just like, well, I'm your mom. Like, you don't get to have private thoughts. And I'm like, that's some bullshit.
Right.
Some bullshit.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I had forgotten all about this question, but
Hmm.
what are some physical symptoms you experience because of your gifts?
Headaches,
Headaches?
migraines.
Oof.
They get pretty intense when I don't. I notice they get really intense when I don't take care of myself first,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm absorbing everyone else's emotions and
Mm-hmm.
energy in me. So, migraines, headaches. Sometimes I get like the spiritual flu.
Oh, yeah.
Flu-like symptoms, not contagious to anybody
No.
else, but it's just like I get like the chills. Sometimes I get like um, stuffy nose type deal, things of that nature.
Girl, I've been there. I feel like I was just getting over a spiritual flu
Mhm.
because I feel like I am in a deep period of transition in my life.
Mhm.
And so right now, everything is moving. It's just like I feel like I'm leaping and then integrating and then leaping and then
Yes.
integrating.
Mhm.
But like when I integrate, it always seems like my spirit moves first, my body moves second, and then my mind catches up last.
Mhm.
That's what it feels
That
like.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Mhm.
just like, oh, I be feeling like all the ascension symptoms. Like I be feeling, ooh, spiritual flu too. Like, and then
Mhm.
my stomach gets involved a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh,
Mhm.
oh. But yeah, I'll get the headaches too.
Mhm.
I get this tummy ache. My body might ache a little bit,
Mhm.
and
Body aches, I get those too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just crazy because it's like you wouldn't think that gifts came with side effects, but like they do though, because
Mhm.
the thing is like when you're vibrating at such a high frequency, like you're absorbing so many people's energies without even trying, and that energy takes a toll on your body.
It
It
does.
takes a toll on your body, your spirit, your mind, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so it's just like one of those things where it's like if you don't take care of yourself, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna regret
I
it.
feel
Like
it for sure.
I feel you on that. We're gonna touch on that just a little bit deeper too.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, and then what are some, okay, for people who, this is more so a question for people who feel like they might be spiritually inclined or they might have gifts, but they don't really know for sure. They just kind of have
Mhm.
like a suspicion or an idea. What are some like everyday behaviors that you correlate with being spiritually gifted?
Everyday behaviors. That's a good question. Hmm. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Everyday behaviors that can correlate with being spiritual or spiritually gifted. Um.
Well, let's pause that for a second. Let me
Okay.
ask you this. Like with
Mhm.
your spiritual friends, like
Mhm.
I'm sure like a lot of spirituals have gifts in common, right? And
Mhm.
so with your friends, like your friends who were spiritually inclined, were there any behaviors that they did that you also did and it made you think, oh, that's a sign of like being spiritually inclined? Like, was there anything that stood out to you?
Not from my memory.
Hmm.
Mhm. There could have been something, but honestly, I don't remember.
I feel you. I feel you. Because that can be kind of tricky, but
Mhm.
because like I was asking myself this question
Mhm.
and I was like, are there any everyday behaviors? Like, I feel like one everyday behavior for me
Mhm.
personally with my gift combination is taking a bit of a while to fully wake up in the morning
Mm.
and then having a hard time winding down before bed,
Mhm. Yeah,
you
that
know,
makes sense.
right? Because I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like the way that my gifts work personally, those are the main two things that I feel like stand out the most,
Right.
you know.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
And it's just like I know a bunch of people experience that, but it's just like you really just do not know. Like you really just don't know. Oops. Okay. But it's just like some things that are just like everyday traits. I feel like a lot of people that don't even realize it. I feel like there's a lot of people that are spiritually inclined because I'm one of those people that believes that we all share a consciousness. Like we share a consciousness. We might not be like a hive mind or anything like that, but we do have a collective consciousness.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like a lot of people could be experiencing the same thing, but because it's so common, they don't realize, oh, this is because I'm spiritually inclined. This is because I have gifts. It's not just because like I'm an everyday person, like, you know,
Absolutely.
it's just like I feel like it's those things. I feel like it's things that probably everybody does that spirituals also do, and it was like a thing for them, and it was just like, oh, maybe I don't know. I was going on a tangent, but it's like maybe you do something like that you didn't even realize you did until after a certain point or whatever. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's not on purpose, but I do get like twitches in my pinky, and when sometimes I get like twitches in my pinky, like something happens, it's like may disrupt my nervous system or may settle my nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like it's like a warning sign, like something's about to happen, type deal. So maybe that could be. I noticed that, but that's not me doing it on purpose. It just happens.
I feel you on that. I feel like that's how it is a lot of times. It just happens. We don't necessarily have control over it until we do, you know? And control takes a while. Like learning control is different for everybody. Some people, they can get it super easy, super fast, like maybe within months, some within weeks. But for a lot of people, it takes years.
It does.
It takes years to control your gifts. Like, okay, so how did you develop your spiritual identity and how important is it to you?
Okay. How I feel like how I like developed my spiritual identity was just going through what I was going through. I went through a lot of trials and tribulations, very hard trials and tribulations, and I feel like that made my spiritual identity even stronger because I feel like I wasn't running away or putting my problems on to anybody else. I was able to process them, not necessarily by myself, but with my ancestors,
Right.
with my spiritual team, spirit, like my spirit animals and everything like that. Like I was able to work through them. I feel like that kind of made me who I am today spiritually by going through my trials and tribulations, but not just those,
Right.
but the happy times as well. Like they
Yes.
really showed me like this is who you are as a spiritual individual. Like you can go through things, but you can also come up on top. If that makes sense through those things.
Oh, yeah.
And be able to celebrate.
Yeah, because God doesn't bring you through hell to leave you in hell. You know what I mean? And would you say that you had to fight for your spiritual identity?
Yes, absolutely. Because I feel like it came from religious trauma. I thought I was doing something really horrible, really bad, but
So you felt guilty
I
at
felt
first.
very guilty, very ashamed at first.
Well, I mean, who could blame you? You were shamed.
Yeah, exactly. So, but working through those emotions and owning them and not trying to ignore them really helped me become the spiritual person I am today. And I feel like it's very important to me. It's
Yeah.
literally super important to me.
I feel like it's very important as spiritually inclined people to have your own unique spiritual identity because that's one of those things like no matter what you go through, it cannot be stripped away from you.
Exactly.
Like nobody can take it away. It's set in stone and it's something that you built from scratch. So it's strong. So, as a spiritual, what are some of your core beliefs? And let's say, for example, let's say like you died today. Um, what I mean by core spiritual beliefs is like if you died today, what would what things have you learned or that you feel that you would carry with you into the next existence? Like, what are your core spiritual beliefs?
Okay, I feel like one of them that's really important to me is treat others how you want to be treated. Like, it doesn't matter if that person is a billionaire, it doesn't matter if that person is homeless, does it not matter. Treat others how you want to be treated. That's very important to me because if that were to happen more often, you'll just be a lot kinder to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the really big ones. Another core belief that I can think of is like be the change that you want to be in the world. Be that change that you want to be in the world, want to see in the world. Because you can always just talk a good talk, but if you're not leading by example, then what good is it?
Facts. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of my core spiritual beliefs is we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my core spiritual beliefs is like we're all connected. Um Man, I feel like I have a bunch of like core spiritual beliefs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and another core spiritual belief I have is like what's meant for you is always meant for you, and nobody
Exactly.
can take it away.
Mm-hmm.
But those are like a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like I also have this way of thinking where it's like if people can hate for no reason, then I can love for no reason. And so love
Yes.
is another like core belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like lead with love, move through life with love,
Mm-hmm.
be the embodiment of love. And like to be honest, that's what my purpose is. Like I've known what
Mm-hmm.
my purpose is for a long time, but like I am the embodiment of love. And so that is a spiritual belief that's very important to me. Like very.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's
And
what I always say too.
mhm,
You know, people hate for no reason. I love for no reason.
period.
I always say that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And would you say that your values ever change?
Mm-hmm. They do.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Because, like, I'm still, like, in the limbo of, like, what my idea of God is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like, because what I hear is that, like, I do feel like a goddess for sure. But I feel like there's more to it than just that. Because there's some before us, there's some that work with us, but, like, I feel like there's a
And then
part.
there's the one we all originated from.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so still like in the limbo of like trying to find my faith and like ideas and like understanding of what God really is.
Yeah, because like especially as a black woman, like as a
Mhm.
black person, we really have to decolonialize our way of thinking about spirituality.
Mhm.
Because to be honest, like religion was used as a weapon against us to keep us docile and complacent and to keep us afraid,
Mhm.
right? And so I'm not dogging on religion, okay? I'm not dogging on religion because I think religion has done and will do wonderful things for certain people, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not dogging on religion at all.
Right.
But it's one of those things where it's like you said earlier, if you're doing something because you're afraid you're going to go somewhere bad, it's not genuine.
Right.
It's not genuine. You should do something because that's the kind of person you are and
Mhm.
because it comes from your heart, right?
Right.
Instead of doing it because you believe if you don't, you're going to be punished. And it's just like that thought process alone is what's going to keep a lot of us in shackles. And like, I want to free my people. Like, we have to decolonialize our way of thinking about God, okay? Because let's just face it, like, maybe I won't say that. Yeah, because that what I was about to say would probably get me canceled. So let me not say that. But yeah, like it's especially if you're a spiritual person of color, it's important to decolonialize your way of thinking about God because the way you think about God can either help or hinder your relationship with the divine and spirit and all that. And it can really affect how connected you feel with yourself and how connected you feel to everything around you.
Mhm.
Because it's just like, for example, a lot of people feel like a lot of people don't believe in God because they were like, where was God when I was going through XYZ hard time, right? And the way I approach it is like, you can't look at it like God is watching all this stuff happen to you. From my perspective, it's like God is going through it with you, like going through it with you, you know? And like, that's why it seems like there's no intervention or like no one to intervene, but it's just like, it's complicated because I feel like some things we just need to learn for ourselves, you know, but I don't feel like we're abandoned. I don't feel like we're just being watched either. Like they God is going through it with us.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. I don't even know what tangent we went off on. Like, like where'd it go? Okay. How did realizing you had gifts change the way you moved through life?
I feel like it changed in a big way of like how I viewed myself and my
Mhm.
self-worth. It was like kind of tied in with one another. Um, because I have these gifts and I'm able to use them the way I choose to use them, I choose to use them to benefit others and benefit myself as
Right.
well. So I kind of just like, I feel like I become a better person realizing that I have these gifts.
Yeah. And so, like, as far as moving through life, how do you think it impacted your relationships with other people?
I feel like other people, depending on who the person is, could sense without like realizing they could sense that something is different about me. So in that way, they either steer clear of me because I can see right through them, or they embrace me because again I can see right through them.
Yes.
So
Yes. All right. And why do you think it's important as a spiritually inclined person to be in tune and in touch with yourself?
because if I feel like if you're not in tune with yourself, then you'll pick up anything and everything from the world, and that'll become like a big weight for you to carry that's not yours to carry. So if you're not in tune with yourself and like know yourself and like feel like what you're feeling, then at the end of the day you're taking on everybody else's emotions, energies,
So, do you think
burdens,
it opens
traumas.
people up to
It
more pain
it does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and all kinds of dysregulation?
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay. And why do you think it's important to use your gifts to help others?
I know it could be simply said because it's the right thing to do, but I feel like it goes deeper than just the right thing to do. I feel like it helps me feel good about myself when I'm able to help other people.
Right.
It makes me feel good because people weren't there for me when I needed them at a lot of troublesome times in my life.
Right.
So when I'm able to be there for someone else, it just feels good, you know?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's important to help others just because you don't know what somebody is silently dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like you said, you know, you could be for someone the type of person that you didn't have when you were dealing with that same thing. And it's just like I feel like if more people felt like they were supported in the world, maybe we would have a little less evil,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because
Yeah,
kindness does go a long way still to this day.
it really does.
You never know. Like, I feel like some of the best things to happen to me were because of the kindness of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And like that kind of thing really resonates with people. It sticks with them for a while. Like you can only have crossed paths for maybe 5 minutes, but depending on how you interact with that person, they could think about it for years. They could
Yeah,
literally think about it for years.
that's so true.
And then they could go on and like, you know, pay it forward themselves because you did that for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what did your first spiritual confirmation look like? Like, say, like, let's say you prayed for something, or, um, let's say you were waiting for, or let's say you had a question, like, say, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I know we all get this question: are we doing the right thing? Are we going down the right path? Like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Like, having asked that kind of question or anything like that, having
Mm-hmm.
feelings where you talked with spirit, you talked with God, what was what was your first like confirmation, like that made you realize, oh, I'm being heard?
That's a good question. I don't feel like I can remember my very very first confirmation,
Okay,
but I
well, if you
can
can't
remember a
remember your
more recent
first,
one.
yeah, let's
More
do that.
recent one. So I was doing a reading for a good friend of mine. She was asking about her fiance,
Hmm.
and when I pulled some cards for it,
Yeah.
the card said sooner than you think. And they were not playing when they said sooner than you think. So when I went home, settled in from work and everything, she calls me and she's like, "Guess what happened?" And I was like, "What?" She was like, "Your cards are so spot on. Um, it happened tonight." The thing, I don't want to put all our business out on there, but
Of
like,
course.
keep it like confidential. But like, what she was praying for happened that very evening
So like in a matter of
in a
hours.
matter of hours, and that was some of the quickest times I've ever heard of my cards like showing people the way and stuff like that. So that was like a whoa, like yeah, this is for real. Mhm.
Yeah, I think for me, my first like spiritual confirmation was
Mhm.
actually really sad and dark. Like it was very sad and very dark
Mm.
because I was like 16.
Mhm.
I had just had my first ever experience with like death in a major way that I could remember because one of my friends had taken her own life in high school.
Mhm.
And we were pretty close. And like one night we went out to, I was really young, by the way. I was like 14, 13, 14.
Mhm.
And like we went out to party that night, and like there was like some substances involved and, and stuff like that. And I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, God, if you can hear me, I was like, if you just let me survive this night, I'll never do XYZ again, you
Mhm.
know? And lo and behold, I woke up the next morning, got home on time.
Mhm.
Like everything ran really smoothly the next morning. And I was just like, oh, I'm heard. I'm
Mhm.
heard.
Absolutely.
Because, like, there was just like a lot of sketchy shit involved that night that really could have put me in a dangerous situation. And the simple fact that I lived through that,
Mhm.
especially being as young and impressionable as I was, like, I was just like, oh, I was like, oh, I'm heard. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And why do you think it's important as a spiritual to have a relationship with nature?
I feel like it's important because we are nature. We are of nature. And
Yes,
if we're having like a negative impact on nature, I feel like it has negative impact on
it
us.
does.
So being good to nature is really important to me because not just because we're nature, because nature deserves to be taken care of.
It does.
So
We deserve to be taken care of. So
that
nature
too.
does too. And it's like
Mhm.
we all came from nature. All of us.
Mhm.
Every living thing on this planet came from the same thing. And it's, for me, it circles back to one of those things where you could just pick up a leaf off the ground and look at the lines on the leaf and then look at the lines on the palm of your hand,
Mhm.
and it's just like, oh, we are all connected, quite
Yeah.
literally.
Absolutely.
And what are some of the things you notice when you get a spiritual confirmation? Is it more so how you feel, what you see, or is it like both?
I feel it's both because I see a lot of angel numbers when I'm manifesting something.
Mhm.
So angel numbers are like basically something that's repeated number wise, like 333, 444, 222. But it can also be 1, 2, 3, 4. It can also be 1, 2, 3. Like you can see it on a clock, see it in a book, see it out in public, in the scene. Like that's, I feel like the angel's speaking to you and letting you know that depending on like what you see or what you're doing at the time or how you're feeling
And what you're
and what
thinking.
you're thinking, it's like letting you know, like, hey, manifestation right around the corner, or hey, we're declining your manifestation for something better, or hey, this is a warning because you're probably not in the best mind state or best place that you need to be in.
It's like, hey, it's kind of those reminders that it's like, hey, check in on yourself. Check in on yourself.
Absolutely.
Hey, check on others. Hey, this might be something that you want to think about.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
didn't mention it, but I've been seeing 333 a lot, and a person just walked by with a 333 on their shirt. I was like, okay, thank you, confirmation. And then my favorite color, pink. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, and why is it important to have open communication with the divine, with God, with spirit?
I feel like it strengthens your gifts that they had given you when you're talking to them, or maybe just casually talking to them, like, oh, ancestors, this is what happened today. And
Mhm.
even though they probably already know what happened today, just tell them anyway.
Yeah.
Because they want to hear from you, they love you.
Yeah. You're
So
never alone. I feel
never
like
alone.
personally, for me, it's important to keep an open communication with God and with spirit and
Hmm.
everything because like it helps me feel more connected. It helps me feel more connected. And it's just one of those things where closed mouths don't get fed. You could be
Hmm.
having an issue, but instead of going to God, you're trying to deal with it yourself. And it's not working out because you're trying to control it. You're trying to deal with it yourself
Right.
instead of leaving it to the Most High,
Hmm.
who will take care of it, who
Exactly.
takes care of it. And then it does help your gifts strengthen as well, but
Hmm.
also it can reveal to you how powerful you actually are. Like if you
Hmm.
ask the divine, who am I really?
Hmm.
God will tell you,
And show you.
and show you
Hmm.
and be like, remember who you are. Like, especially if people are trying to play in your face too.
Exactly.
Mm,
I can't tell you how many times I've been protected from people who are trying to wish bad upon myself.
yeah,
Bad upon me. Not myself, but
yeah,
bad upon me. So.
girl,
Hmm.
same. Ooh, so many times I done been shielded and protected from snakes in my grass,
Hmm.
girl. Ooh, Lord. And what were some things that helped you strengthen your relationship with your higher self and with the divine? Like, what were some like everyday practices?
Prayer. One of
Yeah.
the things was prayer. I feel like it's the most simple thing because you can do it in your mind. You say it out loud.
Yeah.
Um,
And it
say it
doesn't
at the
matter if you
altar.
say it out loud or
Yeah.
in your head or at an altar because you're heard either way.
Hmm. Even
And
your
it's,
heart says a prayer.
yeah, because I personally feel like the divine is listening to your heart posture.
Hmm.
Like, where is the intent of how you're feeling or what you're saying coming from?
Yes.
You know? Heck yeah. And like, for that, like, how does that strengthen your relationship with your higher self? Like, praying.
I feel like my higher self hears my prayers. So when I pray to my higher self, it brings me to closer to the newer version of myself I'm supposed to be, which is closer to my higher self. So I feel like it's just like an interconnected closeness with my higher self.
Hell yeah, because we are the same. We are one. Like,
Hmm.
I kid you not, like, I had this vision one time of my higher self, giving me a gift, right? And she gave me a crown, right? And she said, "It's okay if your crown tilts, but don't let it fall."
Hmm.
And I was just like, "Oh, snap, me." And it was just like I remember visiting in a dream, like a higher version of myself. And my mother in the dream, like in the dream told me, and I feel like I was experiencing a different dimension through my dream, but
Hmm.
and it felt that way.
Hmm.
And that's why I will forever call it a parallel universe experience because
Yeah.
I went to I went to this realm where I had everything that I wanted, right? I had everything that I wanted. And my mom in the dream was like, "Hey, all of this is still yours. Like, it's still yours if you want it. The only difference between the version of you that's standing here in this dream and the version of you that actually lives here where
Hmm.
this dream is taking place is that she started earlier than you did. And that's the only difference. She started earlier than you did, but if you still want this, you can still have this." And I was just like, oh,
Hmm.
gagged,
Period.
gagged,
Yes.
just gagged.
Hmm.
Okay, and so kind of like branching off of that a bit,
Hmm.
why do you think that the divine keeps us hidden at times as a spiritual person?
I feel like that's just divine protection, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if certain people knew of my gifts, I'd be depleted all the time because they'd be feeding off of my gifts I have. So I feel
Mhm.
like it's divine protection for sure when I'm hidden.
Period. Period. And we all go through those phases where we're in hermit mode
Hmm.
and all that good stuff. And it's just like, yeah, that isolation is necessary. Like, not only is it protecting you, but it's building you, it's refining you. And, like, kind of to tie into that, like, what were some ways that you nurtured and refined your gifts?
Singing.
See?
Singing one is the biggest ones because like singing makes me feel just it feels like I'm doing something I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I'm supposed to be singing. I'm supposed to be expressing myself through song. Like
You can release a lot of trauma that way too.
singing and dancing.
And you can regulate your breath too that way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think that having your gifts make you more sensitive to spiritual attacks?
I don't know if it makes me more sensitive, but it makes me more aware of what's happening. Because before I realized I had spiritual gifts, I didn't know about evil eye. And I've been getting given evil eye from my aunt a lot back in the day. And when I realized that's what that is, and I was like, Spirit was like, now that you know what it is, don't pay attention to it. And I was able to block it and it not affect me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that my gifts did make me more sensitive to spiritual attacks. It's like I feel like I was already aware of the astral plane and everything that happens in there, but I feel like once I actually started realizing that I have gifts for real,
Yeah.
I became more vulnerable to spiritual attacks. And it was just like I was already being spiritually attacked before I really had language for what gifts were. And it's just like I feel like the enemy was preying on me from young. You know what I mean? Like it's just something about us as individuals. Like we carry a light with us that does attract evil eye. It does attract people who don't want have the best intentions for you. Like it does attract everything that you need to stay away from, but it also attracts better than that. It attracts the people that are really meant for you. It attracts the kind of lifestyle you want to live. It attracts all these other things. But I feel like my gifts did make me more sensitive because once I realized that I had gifts, I got sleep paralysis more and more often, where I would see crazy things. And like my spiritual attacks did happen during a period of time where I was like where I was isolated and really like unsure of myself, and like my whole life was unstable. So I feel like even that made me even more vulnerable because it's like I was already sensitive, but now I'm like vulnerable because my life isn't stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I feel like darkness preys on that. Have you ever been spiritually attacked?
Yes.
What did that look or feel like for you?
Like, there's a couple of times, but the most recent times I can remember is someone who I thought was my friend who wasn't my friend had spent the night over at my house. And we went to a concert together. We had a good time. I thought that person was going to be in my life forever. But Spirit was like, you need to cleanse your room. And I was like, Spirit, I'm just so tired. I don't want to. And then I started feeling that negative, like that energy of negativity flow from my feet, almost getting up to like my crown chakra. And that's when I was like, okay, I'll force myself to get up. I opened my windows, cleansed my room with the incense, said a prayer, and before you know it, that person was gone from my life.
Did you feel lighter after?
I did. I felt a lot lighter. I felt very protected.
It's like I don't think people realize like how heavy negativity can actually feel. Like it gets past the point of emotional heaviness and you like it changes your posture, it changes your demeanor and stuff like that. And so I don't think people are really like aware of like what that actually, feels like. You know what I mean? And I feel like spiritual attacks for me have always looked different because like sometimes it'll be sleep paralysis and there will be something dangerous that I see during that time, right? But other times it was kind of like I was being spiritually attacked, but I thwarted the attack because here's what happened. Once upon a time, I was friends with this girl, and like I had totally hit her up on some random stuff just because like I saw her look, I saw her personality, and I liked it, and I was like, we could make a lot of money together. And that was the mindset I had. I was like, we can make a lot of money together. You know what I mean? But the thing is like she was not the right type of person to be in my life. And the thing is like closer towards our friendship ending, I kept having dreams about snakes. Right? There was this one dream in particular that I remember where a snake was slithering through the grass and it was in front of me, but I didn't realize that a snake was there until it jumped at my face and tried to bite me, right? And I like smacked it away and I woke up. And I was just like, I kind of got that instant message like, okay, someone around me is a snake.
Mhm.
Someone around me is not safe.
Mhm.
And I kid you not, like, I don't even think it was a few weeks later, but we ended up having a falling out because it was one of those situations where I realized I was her friend, but she wasn't my friend. In fact, she was actually playing me. She was actually playing me, but she let that side of her show. And then after the fact, I was like, this girl, I realized she put evil eye on me. She did. Like, she put evil eye on me, but and that was crazy. Like, she was spiritually attacking me, and it wasn't even that she like said something like, oh, I'm gonna put evil eye on this bitch or whatever. It wasn't even like that. It was just probably the intention, the intensity of her emotions in her thoughts and stuff like that, that were able to project themselves because that was just how strongly that she felt, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's the thing that people don't even realize about evil eye, is the fact that, like, they don't even have to say anything to put it on you. It could just be their emotions. It could just be their thoughts.
It could
Like,
be a look.
it could be a look. Yeah,
Mhm.
it could. And it's crazy. But hmm, this is another question for those who think that they might be spiritually inclined or exhibiting gifts. Like, how important would you say research and self-study is?
I say it's very, very important because I feel like your gifts are unique to you in the way that you can be able to use them because they're for you. So I feel like self discovery, like just learning about yourself is
Yeah.
so important for learning about your spiritual gifts. And like, yes, there's like common grounds for like everybody who has the same type of gift,
Yeah.
but it's unique
Yeah.
to you and how you can utilize it.
And so, do you think it's also important to like do research about like the metaphysical and the spiritual and stuff, like read and all that stuff?
I think so,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of stuff you find out when you pick up a book, friends. That's a
Facts.
lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what is at least one thing that we can do every day to get closer to ourselves, the divine, and our gifts?
I feel like loving on yourself at least one time a day, having that positive, like either at the beginning of the day, set the tone, or at the end of the day, wind down. Say something that you're grateful for that happened today, or something that you're grateful for that's going to happen today.
I keep me a gratitude list on deck. I
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, here's a spiritual hack, okay? The more grateful that you are, like, genuinely and truly, the more abundance it will bring you.
That's
Like, if
facts.
you allow gratitude to take up the most room in your heart, you will be blessed for it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, we're cooking. We're cooking. We're cooking. Okay. How do you feel about being called versus being chosen? And do you think that there's a difference?
Now that's a really good question. Being called and being chosen. I feel like there's like a Venn diagram of the things separating them, but there's overlapping things for sure. So when it's like being called is like you're being awakened. Like you're being unplugged from the matrix. Like you're being called to be like, hey, pay attention to this. Hey, learn more about this. Like the things of that nature. Being chosen, I feel like it puts a lot of like responsibility on you, like
Yes.
lots of weight on you because like
Yes.
I'm chosen, therefore I have to do X, Y, and Z instead
Yeah.
of I've been called to do X, Y, and Z, which
You
is
just
based.
realize you're not regular. Like, you
Hmm.
realize it does come with like responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you can be called and not be chosen. You can be called and be chosen. Like,
Hmm.
because the thing with people who are called is like they might see synchronicities and they might ignore them, but people who are chosen, they'll actually take the initiative to like they'll accept the challenge, basically.
Yeah.
Like, someone who is called, they'll be like, oh, okay, they'll brush it off. They won't accept the challenge. But people who are
Hmm.
chosen, in my opinion, like, accept the challenge and rise up to their like developing skills and they're developing spirituality.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like the chosen people do feel more responsibility because, kind of like, I feel like some of our missions is to like elevate the collective consciousness, you know?
Hmm.
It's just like, how are we going to free our people if we don't answer the call?
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, what did your gifts make you realize about yourself?
I feel like being tied in with like my healing journey and my self-love journey, it helped me realize that the love that I give to others, I'm worthy of.
Period.
It helped me realize that.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
It did the same thing for me. It made me realize, like, I literally don't have to do anything. I can just be, and that is enough. Like, I can be, and that is enough.
Yes.
Like, my creator loves me, so I'm loved, you know?
Yeah.
And it was also one of those things for me where it made me realize that I was powerful, you know, that I
Yes,
actually
that
had a
part.
choice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It made me open my eyes a lot. It also made me realize that I could literally have anything that I want.
That part.
And the only thing holding me back is me,
Mm-hmm.
quite literally.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, tying back to one of my core spiritual beliefs, whatever is meant for you is always meant for you, and no one can take it away.
Exactly.
You know,
I want to go on a little tangent about
do it.
that too.
Do it.
Because like there's this whole thing about destiny swapping.
Yeah.
They can't
You
do
can't
that.
do that. Yeah.
You can't do that.
Mm-mm.
There's no way for someone to do that because what's meant for you is meant for you.
Period.
Not them.
No one else can have
do.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's why I don't believe destiny swapping either, because it's just like, if you think that somebody is taking something that was meant for you, then it was like, because like destiny is a fixed point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Destiny is a fixed point in time. It cannot be changed, right?
Right.
So whatever is meant for you is a part of your destiny. And if you feel like somebody is trying to get in the way with that, or take what you have, like, they simply cannot. And if you feel that way, it was because maybe they are meant to intertwine with your destiny. Maybe it was part of your destiny for someone to try to steal from you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they cannot have what's yours.
Exactly.
They can't. It's got your name on it. It's your birthright.
Exactly.
Like, they can't. That's why I never understood, like, no.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. And like, how important to you is self-love when you have spiritual gifts specifically?
When it comes to self-love, I feel like it's like a plant. You have your gifts, you got the water, and you're like feeding into your gifts with love. It helps it grow, helps it flourish, helps it get nourished because it's from love.
And it thrives and bears fruit.
Yes.
You get to eat the fruit. Heck yeah. I feel like what's important too about having self-love when you have spiritual gifts is that it helps you trust your gifts more. It helps you trust yourself more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you become so sure of yourself that nothing can waver you.
Exactly.
And like, self-love really is a foundation that all spirituality needs to be built on.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really don't have self-love, you don't have anything, because you don't trust yourself, you don't trust your gifts,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
You're in a place of distrust, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being in a place of distrust, I feel like you're kind of cutting yourself off to certain things that you probably deserve to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what do you think, with that being said, though, what do you think are some of the drawbacks of being spiritually inclined? Like, some of the cons?
I feel like some of the cons are like energy reading, being able to read a person's energy and being like, oh, that person, as much you would like to get along with them, you know intuitively you would never get along with them because of how they truly are on the inside.
And if you try to force it, it blows up in your
It blows up in your
face.
face. Trust me, I know. I've been
Yeah.
through it.
For me, I feel like people were a drawback too, because
Mhm.
with that, because everything is an energy exchange. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you really don't know someone, you could be exchanging, like, they could be taking all your positive energy and you could be absorbing their negative energy.
And they're siphoning
And
your
like,
energy.
yeah, and that negative energy really does have an effect on you. It can make you feel dysregulated, it can make you feel crazy, like, it can make you feel heavy. It can destroy your emotions and your mental health, honestly, if you're taking on someone's dark energy that they don't want to do the work themselves for.
Yeah.
And then another drawback I feel like I have, with my gifts, is of being spiritually inclined, is that, okay, so people was one, right? The
Mhm.
energy exchange.
Yeah.
That can really take a toll. But also, um, I just had it in my head. Where did it go? I really had a brain fart.
Oh,
I
happens
really
to me all
did.
the time. You're
I really had a
good.
brain fart.
Whew.
We'll just leave it at that because
Mhm.
if I think of it, it'll come back later. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it later.
Mhm.
But drawback for me is just like the toll it'll take when you exchange negative energy with someone.
Right.
And how have your gifts strengthened you as a person?
It helped me be aware. Help like strengthen my intuition, would help strengthen my relationship with myself, to be able to trust myself,
Right.
to be able to like feel and be aware of what's going on around me. Protection as well.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. What would you say was the most challenging thing about your awakening? And like I realize as a spiritual we have multiple awakenings, but
Mhm.
what would you say is the most challenging thing about your awakenings?
I can't be blissfully unaware. I cannot be blissfully unaware. I'm aware of a lot of things, nearly everything.
Painfully aware, painfully.
So, can't go back to that. Once you're awakened,
It's
you're
like once you
awakened.
see it, you can't unsee it. You cannot
Mhm.
go back to living your life the same.
Nope.
You cannot. You can try, but it won't feel right.
It will not. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm, 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 mm. So we already talked about why it's important to protect ourselves as a spiritual.
Mhm.
How can we actually do that? How can we actually practice that?
So you can have some incense, and you could be like cleansing your energy off yourself through the incense. That's what I normally do to like get a good cleansing spiritual wash. You can use
Yes.
water as well as in like when you're in your shower,
You can also use eggs.
eggs as well, egg cleanse. What I do with like the shower thing, I say in my head or out loud, I cleanse myself of any negativity and transmute it into positivity. And that helps with my spiritual cleanse in the shower, or with the incense, or with the egg wash, or egg cleansing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I've wanted to do an egg cleanse and like I looked up how to do one, so I know how to do one. My thing is like when you crack it and you put it in the water, I don't know how to read what's in the water. So that's the only thing that holds me back, because it's just like, okay, I know how to do it, but like I
What are you
can't
looking
read it. What
for?
am I looking for?
Yeah.
What would you say is your strongest gift?
Hmm. I feel like my strongest gift for spirituality
Mm-hmm.
would have to be the gift of energy reading.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my strongest ones.
Yes. Okay.
Hmm.
For me, I want to say my strongest gift is intuition.
Mm.
And it's crazy because I had a whole intuition wound.
Hmm.
Like for a long time, I felt like I couldn't trust myself or like what I was feeling or what I
Hmm.
was hearing. But it's great. It's different now. It's a lot different now. It's definitely improved, but my intuition is probably my strongest gift.
Hmm.
Like it's coupled with a bunch of other things, but like that's the main one.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that spiritually gifted people experience trauma differently?
That's a good
Can
question.
we get a time check real quick?
Let's see. It is 4:42.
Okay, cool. Okay. We've got like 20 minutes, so I
Okay.
think we'll be good.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they do. Yeah. I feel like they experience it deeper too.
Yes. And I feel that
Hmm.
way too, especially because a lot of times for spiritually gifted people, that trauma can act as a catalyst for you to really try to strengthen your gifts, you know?
Hmm.
And like it can happen for a reason. Like I'm not trying to say like all traumatic experiences are like your fault and there's something bigger to them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that for
Hmm.
spiritual people, a lot of times our trauma does play a role in how our gifts develop and you know, you know,
Yeah.
like we do experience it a little bit differently because it does hurt us the same probably even more because it affects us on a deeper level. But um it's one of those things where we can look at it objectively after a period of time and see where how it actually kind of helped us,
Mm-hmm.
like it definitely hurt us, but here's some ways that we changed because of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you think that there are consequences, spiritual and physical, to using your gifts the wrong way?
Yes, I really do. Like when it comes to love spells that are like trying to force your love onto somebody else that does
Yes.
not have that love for you, that
Yes.
backfires way more than you just doing it naturally. Trying to do it naturally, trying to find if there's an actual attraction from the other person to you.
Yeah.
But forcing things onto people, that's never a good thing.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
And like this brings me back a memory from when I watched this documentary about this lady who was doing root work.
Mm-hmm.
And she would do spells where she would actually bury something in the dirt, and she talked about how she actually wished death on some of her exes, and some of them actually did die, but it came back to bite her. It backfired on her because of her negative intent. It backfired on her and she ended up dead. Her body was never found though, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to say she's deceased just because of how her car was found, her belongings were found, all that. But it happened in her mind first. Like
Mm-hmm.
her mind turned against her and then the physical reacted.
Yes.
Ooh. Cautionary tale.
Mm-hmm.
And since we just asked that, are there consequences for using your gifts the wrong way? What exactly is the wrong way to use your gifts for those who might not know?
I feel like the wrong way to use your gift is like again forcing something that is not for someone else. Forcing something that's not good for maybe even you. Like trying to force something that's not meant to happen
Yeah.
is a wrong way.
And I feel like another wrong way is also regarding your intent too.
Intention,
Yeah,
yes.
because with your heart posture, if your heart posture is not in the right place, if
Mhm.
you're not, if you're being, if you've got negative intentions, you should not do any kind of spell work. You should not do any kind of root work. You
Mm-mm.
should even say anything. Like, you shouldn't
Right.
even say anything until you let those negative emotions or feelings pass,
Exactly.
because you do run, especially if you know you're gifted, you run the risk of doing some real harm to other
Mhm.
people and yourself. Like,
Exactly.
if your intentions are wrong and you're using your gifts the wrong way, like, it's always going to hurt you too. Like, it might have a
Mhm.
temporary effect on someone else, but it's going to come back on you, and when it comes back on you, it's going to hurt you.
Exactly.
Okay, and what do you think are drop the mic blooper, we'll leave it in. What do you think our purpose is as spiritual people?
Purpose. I feel like the purpose could be uniquely defined for you
Yes.
and what your spiritual gifts are and how you use them and your intentions with them. But I feel like maybe just a general thing, making the world a better place for everybody else, including yourself.
Yes.
Because this world needs so much healing.
Yes, it does. And I feel like we each have our own unique individual purposes, but I
Hmm.
feel like as spiritual people, I feel like our collective purpose is to elevate the collective consciousness
Hmm.
and truly free our people.
Yes.
And so for people who want to communicate with for people who want spirit to communicate with them, what should they listen or look for?
I say look for angel numbers, numbers that you see repetitively. It doesn't have to be 222, 333, 444, anything like that. It could be like something you see all the time, like 527. It could be anything like that. Another thing that you could look out for is like ringing in your ear. That's another big one. Like hear ringing in your ear. Um, know what it may mean, especially when it comes to your ancestors or spirit team. Like just kind of just check in and really like just be still and listen and see if anything comes to mind naturally
Yeah.
without you forcing it.
Yeah.
So those are some ways that I look out for when spirit's trying to talk to me.
Yeah. And
And
to
listen to
add
your
on,
dreams.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to add on to that, I would also say pay attention to nature. Pay
Nature.
attention to nature,
Mm-hmm.
like animals especially, because for me personally, a lot like there's spiritual messages that come to me in the form of birds, and like the wind
Mm-hmm.
as well. But like
Mm-hmm.
especially birds. Like for me, like birds that hold the spiritual significance in my life are cardinals, blue jays, and owls.
Mm.
So it's like if I see one of those three, I know that there's a message for me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And when I see those birds, for example, or when I hear them too, when I just hear them, I could hear them or see them. But when I hear them or see them,
Mm-hmm.
I pay attention to how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, and that will tell you what your message is. You know,
Yeah,
like it's really important to self reflect when you see these things or hear these things
absolutely.
because the answers are within, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Okay, so how important is it to assign meaning to things? Do you think it helps bring a better understanding of what we may be going through?
I feel like with tact and with like honesty, it can bring clarity to like what you may be going through.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could. I feel like the reason could be so simple, as in this person did this because they're a bad person, or it could be like this person went through this as a child. When it could go deeper than that. But if you just, for me personally, it helps me to put like it brings peace to me when I can
Yes.
understand why something's happening.
Yes.
So I feel like it does bring clarity.
And I feel like for me, assigning meaning to things for me was really imperative as a spiritual
Mm,
person
mm-hmm,
because it's like you can easily miss what spirit is trying to say to you. You can easily miss what God is trying to say to you, right? And so for me, one of my things is like I declared I have a symbol. Okay, I have a symbol that I declared was like my universal sign from God that something is about to happen, or like that something is either about to happen, it has happened, or it's going to happen type
mm-hmm,
thing. And I feel like had I not assigned a spiritual meaning to that symbol, that could have helped me. That could have like left me in the dark about things. I could have not had an understanding. But
mm-hmm,
because I declared this specific symbol as like my universal sign, um, it has it has brought me a lot of clarity and a lot of understanding because I'm just like, oh, well, now I know what to expect. Now I know what to do. Now I know how to move.
mm-hmm,
Yes. All right. We're nearing the end, folks.
mm-hmm.
But just know that part two, there's going to be a part two. Okay. Might not be immediately, but there's going to be a part two. So these are our last few questions.
Mm-hmm.
How important is gratitude in general and showing gratitude to the divine or spirit?
I feel it is so important. It is just so important because it not only helps you, but it helps those around you who are like who are supporting you, and it helps spirit as well support you and help you too through gratitude. So
Yes.
I think it's so important.
People don't understand the way gratitude can actually change your life.
Mm-hmm.
It can really change your life. Not only can it open your mind and your heart, but your physical reality will start reflecting your gratitude. Like if you let gratitude take up the most room in your heart, like I was saying earlier, like you're going to be blessed for it. Like you become more abundant, you become more prosperous because it's like God is always going to be working in your life, spirit, your ancestors, they're always going to be working in your life, right? But when they feel appreciated, when they feel like you trust them, they're willing to do more for you.
So true.
They're
So
willing
true.
to do more with you too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's one of my favorite questions, right?
Okay.
What does the divine's voice sound like to you specifically? And when did you first hear it?
That's a really good question. I never thought of that. But I feel like the divine voice sounds similar to mine, if that makes sense. But like more of like an echoey effect,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Because I feel like I just feel like it just I feel like I hear my own voice in the divine.
Yeah.
But there's more to it when the divine is talking to me and
Yeah.
through me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But the thing is, too, is just like God, like the divine is in us.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense why you would hear your own voice. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I have heard two different voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it happened this way for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why I feel this way. So, when I was really young and I was still under the influences of religion and I didn't really have my a language for my spirituality or my gifts or anything like that, I heard I heard the divine's voice a certain way. I feel like because I was still under religious shackles. I feel like I heard it a certain way because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it happened that way because I was more receptive to that at that particular time. And so the first time I heard it, it was like a really deep, authoritative voice. I wouldn't say it was like aggressive or anything like that. I wouldn't even assign like an emotion to it. It was just very matter of fact. It was very deep and matter of fact, and it was loud.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, God was like, don't spend your time, like, don't waste your time wishing you were somebody else. It's a waste of the person you are. And like, I've always remembered it because of how it was presented to me at that particular time. Like, I was still under religious influence. Like, I still had the idea in my mind of God is a defined gender, male, and that's what I was receptive to at that time. But I will say recently, when I was either 29 or 30, maybe I had already turned 30. Um, but I heard the divine's voice. Like after I had done some deconstruction and some decolonializing, I heard the divine's voice feminine
Mm-hmm.
and it sounded completely different, right? It sounded like what I would compare it to is like the crash of waves, like the deepness of the depth of the ocean type, because it was like multiple voices. It was like one was almost at a whisper, like, hi, I see you. Like it was at a whisper, and the other one was speaking like regular.
Mm-hmm.
But her voice was kind of low, kind of soft, kind of like gentle,
Mm-hmm.
And she said to me, I am all that ever was. And like when I heard her that time, and I will always refer to the divine as masculine or feminine. I interchange those because I truly believe that there is no gender really, because God is everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it come like when I heard the voice the second time, she told me more than just that, right? But I only remember that particular part is I am all there ever was. Um, but she took me on like a trip. She let me like feel what it felt like to be connected to everything, to like have a consciousness that was all one.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me what that felt like, and she took me around the ocean, around like she took me places and was just showing me things and was like she was just basically telling me like we are all connected, we are all intertwined, like and it was crazy. And it's like it was just nuts. But
Mm-hmm.
do you think discernment itself is a gift or is it a package deal?
I guess in my experience, I felt like it was more of a package deal.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel the same way too. I feel like it is a package deal because I feel like your discernment comes with your intuition and your ability to read energy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how important is discernment to you? We were talking about it earlier, but
Yeah, I feel like it's very important because, like, how will you know what or when or how or why to do or what you want to do without discernment?
yeah. And also, how do you keep yourself safe without
Mm-hmm.
discernment too?
Yeah.
You know? And how did you create that safety for yourself?
I feel like I created that safety by listening in on my intuition and listening in on like spirit. I feel like through that, I was able to create safety for myself, because there's times where I feel like really lonely and like very like just sad and stuff like that. But like I feel safe when I'm speaking to spirit, or I feel safe when I'm like
Yes.
praying to spirit or manifesting. I just feel safe, you know?
Yes.
So that helped me like create safety for myself.
Amen. Amen.
Hmm.
Okay. So it's coming to a close, guys. We're wrapping this video up. We are at the end. We are at the last question, okay? So, Luna,
Hmm.
what advice would you give to someone like us who may not know how to develop their spiritual identity?
Okay. I feel like safe trial and error is the best way, because let's say I'm good at tarot reading, but you may not be able to use that gift. Well, safe trial and error means that you could use it around someone you trust and help, like listen to them, help them guide you through it. But if it doesn't work for you, then it just doesn't work. Like I would say, having that safe mentor, someone that you can absolutely trust, because that helped me when it comes to spirituality. When I have my friends who help me like learn about spirituality in
Yeah.
a safe environment, that helped me.
Yes.
It may be able to help you too.
Exactly. And I would say study. I would say read. Read as much as possible. Reach out to people who are also spiritually inclined. I would also say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And like be willing to accept that these gifts do come with a lot of responsibility, okay? But great things come with them, okay? And like don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. Don't be afraid to be yourself either. But yeah, your spiritual identity is very important. And it's the only thing that they cannot take away from you. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts?
No closing thoughts, but I just want to say thank you for having me on.
Yes, thanks for
inviting
coming.
me. I had a good time, and these questions are really good because they really make me think.
Yeah.
And I love thinking. So.
And I didn't even ask all the questions I wanted to ask, which is why there's going to be a part 2. And today we're coming at you live from Daydream Bookstore and Cafe here in Arlington, Texas. If you like romance novels and you like women-owned, Latin-owned businesses, this is the place to check out. Okay. Service was great. It's really cute in here. And yeah, so for all my baby spirituals out there, or people who feel like they might have a calling, we hope that you enjoyed this video. We will be back for more. As I said before, this is a new series called Third Eye Blind Interviews with Intuitives, where we pose the question, is your third eye blind? And we just kind of leave you with some tidbits and advice to like make you think, but also to help you develop. Alright guys, we'll see you later friends. Ciao.